The golden hues of a late summer sunset bathed the cobblestone streets of the small coastal town, where Alina stood by the pier, her auburn hair catching the light like embers. She clutched a worn leather journal, its pages filled with dreams she'd never dared to voice. Across the pier, Liam's silhouette emerged, his eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that made her heart stutter. They, known each other since childhood, two souls tethered by unspoken promises, yet tonight felt different. The air hummed with possibility, as if the universe itself conspired to pull them closer. Liam stepped forward, his voice low, confessing he'd watched her from afar for years, too afraid to cross the invisible line between friendship and something deeper. Alina's breath caught as he spoke of nights spent imagining her laughter, her touch, her very essence entwined with his. The world seemed to pause, the waves holding their breath as he reached for her hand. His fingers brushed hers, sending a shiver through her, a spark that ignited years of suppressed longing. She whispered his name, and in that moment the space between them dissolved, replaced by a magnetic pull. They stood inches apart, the scent of salt and jasmine mingling, their hearts pounding in unison. Alina's journal slipped to the ground, forgotten, as Liam's gaze dropped to her lips, a silent question hanging between them. She answered with a step closer, her hand finding his chest, feeling the steady rhythm of his heart. The sunset bled into twilight, and as the first stars appeared, they leaned in, their lips meeting in a kiss that felt like coming home. It was soft at first, tentative, then deepening with a hunger that spoke of years spent waiting. The world faded, leaving only the warmth of their embrace, a promise sealed under the endless sky. Days turned into weeks, and Alina and Liam became inseparable, their love a wildfire that consumed every moment. They wandered through fields of wildflowers, their laughter echoing as they chased each other under the midday sun. Liam would pull her close, kissing her forehead, her cheeks, her lips, each touch a declaration of devotion. Alina felt alive in a way she never had, her heart unfurling like a flower in bloom. They shared secrets under moonlit skies, lying on a blanket by the cliffs, the ocean's song a backdrop to their whispered dreams. Liam spoke of a future where they'd build a home, a sanctuary filled with love and laughter. Alina, once guarded, now poured her heart into him, her fears melting in the warmth of his gaze. They danced in the town square during the annual festival, twirling under strings of fairy lights, their bodies pressed close as the music swelled. Every kiss was a vow, every glance a promise. Yet beneath the bliss, a quiet fear lingered in Alina. She'd known loss before, and the depth of her love for Liam terrified her. What if fate tore them apart? She pushed the thought away, burying it in the heat of his embrace, but it lingered like a shadow. One evening, as they sat on the beach, Liam traced patterns on her palm, his touch grounding her. He sensed her unease and pulled her close, kissing her deeply as if to banish her doubts. "I'm yours, Alina," he murmured against her lips, "in this life and beyond." Her heart swelled and she kissed him back, pouring every ounce of her soul into it. The stars above seemed to pulse brighter as if blessing their union. They lay together, wrapped in each other, the world reduced to the space between their heartbeats. For now, love was enough, a force stronger than any fear, and they surrendered to it completely, their kisses a language only they understood. Autumn arrived, painting the town in shades of amber and crimson, and with it came a test of their devotion. Liam received an offer to work on a ship, a year-long journey that promised adventure but would take him far from Alina. The news hung between them like a storm cloud, heavy with unspoken fears. They sat on the pier where they'd first kissed, the air cooler now, the waves more restless. Alina's heart ached at the thought of his absence, but she saw the spark in his eyes, the call of the sea that had always been part of him. She wanted to beg him to stay, to keep their world intact, but love, she knew, meant freedom. Liam took her hands, his thumbs brushing over her knuckles, and promised he'd return, that no distance could dim what they had. His voice cracked as he spoke, and Alina saw the same fear mirrored in his eyes. They kissed then, fiercely, desperately, as if they could imprint themselves on each other's souls. The days before his departure were a blur of stolen moments, kisses in the rain, quiet nights tangled in each other's arms, promises whispered against skin. Alina gave him her journal, its pages now filled with letters to him, a piece of her to carry across the seas. On the morning he left, they stood at the dock, the wind tugging at their clothes. Liam kissed her all over, her forehead, her eyelids, her lips, each one a vow to return. Tears streamed down Alina's face, but she smiled, refusing to let sorrow define their goodbye. As the ship sailed away, she stood rooted to the spot, clutching the scarf he'd left behind, its scent still carrying his warmth. The horizon swallowed him, but their love burned brighter. A beacon she trusted would guide him back. She whispered his name to the wind, a prayer, a promise, and turned back to the town, her heart heavy but resolute. The months apart stretched endlessly, each day a battle against loneliness for Alina. She filled her time with work at the local bookstore, losing herself in novels that echoed her longing. She wrote to Liam daily, her letters a lifeline across the ocean, filled with stories of the town, her dreams, and her unwavering love. His letters arrived sporadically, each one a treasure she read until the pages wore thin. He wrote of stormy seas, starlit nights, and how every wave seemed to whisper her name. Alina clung to his words, imagining his voice, his touch. She'd walk to the pier at dusk, staring at the horizon, willing his ship to appear. Friends noticed the light in her eyes dimming, but she held fast to her devotion, wearing his scarf like armor. One night, a storm raged and fear gripped her. What if the sea claimed him? She sat by her window, clutching his latest letter, and prayed to every star she could see. The storm passed, and with it, a new letter arrived, Liam's words steadying her. "Every kiss we shared lives in me, Alina. I'm coming home." Her heart soared, and she kissed the letter as if he could feel it across the miles. She began preparing for his return, decorating her small apartment with mementos of their love, pressed flowers from their walks, a photograph of them laughing. The town, too, seemed to sense the shift, the air growing warmer as spring approached. Alina's hope grew with each passing day. Her dreams filled with the moment she'd see him again. She imagined running into his arms, kissing him under the same stars that had witnessed their first embrace. Her love for him was a fire that distance couldn't extinguish, and she held on to it, knowing it would lead them back to each other. The pier became her sanctuary, a place where she felt closest to him, and she waited, her heart a compass pointing toward Liam. Spring bloomed, and with it, the promise of Liam's return. Alina stood on the pier daily, her heart racing at the sight of every ship on the horizon. The town buzzed with anticipation, as if their love story had woven itself into the fabric of the community. One morning, a ship appeared, its sails catching the dawn light. Alina's breath caught as she recognized the flag Liam had described in his letters. She ran to the dock, her heart pounding, the scarf fluttering behind her. The ship docked, and there he was, stepping onto the pier, his eyes searching for her. Time slowed as they locked gazes, the world narrowing to just them. Liam dropped his bag and ran to her, sweeping her into his arms. Their lips met in a kiss that held every moment of longing, every letter, every sleepless night. The crowd around them cheered, but Alina and Liam heard only each other's breaths, felt only the warmth of their reunion. He kissed her all over, her cheeks, her neck, her lips, each one a reclaiming of the time they'd lost. Alina laughed through tears, her hands framing his face, memorizing every line etched by the sea. They walked hand in hand through the town, the cobblestones familiar yet new, as if their love had painted everything brighter. That night they sat by the cliffs, wrapped in a blanket, the ocean singing their story. Liam told her of the storms he'd faced, how her letters had been his anchor. Alina confessed her fears, her unwavering faith in their love. They kissed again, slow and deep, the stars above bearing witness. Their devotion had weathered the distance, emerging stronger, unbreakable. As they lay together, Alina knew this was only the beginning, their love a story still unfolding, written in every touch, every glance, every kiss. With Liam back, their love deepened, rooted in the trials they'd overcome. They spent days rediscovering each other, exploring the town as if for the first time. They'd linger in the bookstore reading poetry aloud, their voices intertwining like their hands. Liam surprised Alina with a small boat, and they sailed along the coast, the sea now a friend rather than a barrier. Each kiss on the water felt like a reclaiming of the time it had stolen. They spoke of marriage, of a life built together, their dreams no longer whispers but plans. Alina's journal, once a vessel for her longing, now held their shared story, pages filled with moments of joy. One evening, under a canopy of stars, Liam knelt before her, a simple ring in his hand. His voice trembled as he asked her to be his forever. Alina's tears fell as she said yes, and they sealed the promise with a kiss that felt eternal. The town celebrated their engagement, the festival lights glowing brighter that year. They danced again, their bodies swaying as one, every step a testament to their devotion. Yet Alina noticed a shadow in Liam's eyes, a lingering weight from his time at sea. Late one night he confessed the dangers he'd faced, the moments he thought he'd never see her again. Alina held him, kissing away his fears, promising they'd face every storm together. Their love was a sanctuary, a place where wounds healed and dreams thrived. As they planned their future, the town became a canvas for their love, every corner holding a memory. They kissed under the same pier, the waves applauding, their hearts aligned with the rhythm of the tide. Their story was no longer just theirs. It was a beacon for others, a reminder that love, when true, could conquer anything. The wedding was a celebration of their journey, held on the cliffs overlooking the sea. Alina wore a dress that flowed like the waves, her eyes never leaving Liam. He stood tall, his vows a melody of devotion, promising to kiss her all over every day for the rest of their lives. The crowd wept and cheered as they sealed their union with a kiss that held every moment of their past and every hope for their future. The reception spilled into the town square, with music, laughter, and dancing under the stars. Alina and Liam moved as one, their love a light that drew everyone closer. They stole moments alone, sneaking to the pier to kiss in the moonlight, the ocean their witness. As they settled into married life, they built a home filled with warmth, its walls echoing with laughter and whispered "I love yous." Liam took a job on land, teaching others to navigate the seas, his love for Alina grounding him. She expanded the bookstore, creating a corner for love stories, inspired by their own. They faced challenges, moments of doubt, the weight of everyday life, but each was met with a kiss, a touch, a reminder of their bond. One evening, Alina found Liam staring at the sea, a distant look in his eyes. She